So, my name is Paula Levy, and I'm going to be talking about the first prompt specifically with the movie La Dolce Vita, directed by Federico Fellini. Even though it's the last movie that we watched, I definitely resonated with it the most for a couple reasons, and I also resonated a lot with the Dyer reading, but the reasons that I felt connected to the film were not the same reasons that Dyer mentioned. One scene that was really powerful for me, which I talked about in our class Zoom, was the scene with Marcello and his father, and they spend the whole night together and think of a fun activity to do, and they end up going to the dancing club and they meet Fanny, and all of these events happen, and eventually in the morning, or I guess kind of in the middle of the night, Marcello's father gets sick from probably too much drinking, and what happens next really struck within me. The feeling of an adult being embarrassed of their actions and not wanting to open up or continue to hang out with the kid is very emotionally raw. That was very interesting for me to watch, because kind of like I said in class, the adult is supposed to be the one that's taking care of themselves and not messing up or drinking too much or stuff like that. And while Marcello's father did take care of himself, he went home immediately and stuff, it was heartbreaking to watch. He still had this whole trip planned, and Marcello wanted him to hang out with him more, so that was really sad to watch. I've been in Eugene for about 2 months now, and I haven't seen my parents since then, and it made me miss them a lot, especially my dad, who I don't usually talk a lot with. I'm not very close with my parents, so that scene specifically very much resonated with me. But other moments of La Dolce Vita, especially after reading the Dyer reading where it's revealed that Fellini was a very chaotic director, made me appreciate it and resonate with a little bit more. I feel like I'm similar in the sense where I do my best work at the last minute. I have a million different paths that I go through in order to create my final product and achieve my vision. And by the sounds of it, it was described as a permanent rehearsal, which for a lot of people doesn't sound ideal or very productive or anything like that, but to me that's how I always work. So I found that to be very interesting. I'm stuck in Eugene, Oregon. I'm 20 years old and I'm not allowed to live my life, and watching this movie, literally the sweet life of Italy in this time, made me crave just a better life after quarantine, and made me really think about how I'm going to choose to live my life after. Not to say that Marcello was living the best life ever, because what's funny and ironic about the title is we're not looking at a perfect life or a very sweet life. Marcello goes through lots of failures, some that he doesn't even recognize, specifically with women, but I think there was beauty in every moment, the good and the bad, in that movie. I found the last scene also to be very interesting. They end up all on the beach, and I forget the name of the woman, but that dead stingray fish object was supposed to represent an Italian woman that had died on a beach, and the final moments of Paola looking directly into the camera was incredibly powerful for me. But having that fish-like object represent a real person just to me shows more and more how much detail Fellini added into this movie. And for American movies, we call those Easter eggs, like different things you can find that relate to real life or other movies or other culture in a movie, and there's so many of those in this movie. Like I said in class, I grew up with a picture of La Dolce Vita in my living room. It's a picture of Marcello's face is blue and Sylvia is dancing in her black dress. I'm pretty sure it's just one of the more popular movie posters, and I never saw it. My father's book is literally on this movie for the most part, and I never saw it. So I also felt a sense of accomplishment after watching this, and really connecting me to how proud I am to be an Italian and how proud I am of this culture, even though, like I said, this isn't necessarily behavior that you want to be proud of or like share if you were going to be doing the same thing. But kind of with all of the movies in this course, I feel like Italian cinema does such a very unique and special job of connecting to all of the emotions, and like specifically sadness, I feel like is very highlighted in Italian cinema, and I'm proud that Italians are able to kind of not view things through rose-colored glasses. Italy's a country that went through so much historically, and it is kind of bittersweet, kind of heartwarming in a way to see how honest they were able to be through cinema with literally all of these movies. So I would definitely say La Dolce Vita struck the strongest chord for myself. But very sincerely, all of the movies I thoroughly enjoyed, and I do want to keep watching more Italian cinema. And that's about it. Thank you.